At 2:47 a.m., on a quiet stretch of land just outside Ashford, Kentucky, police cars cut through the darkness, their red and blue lights flashing against the trees. The house they approached had been abandoned for years. Its windows were boarded, its door hung loosely on rusted hinges, and the smell coming from the basement told officers something was terribly wrong. Inside, sealed behind crude concrete blocks, they found the body of a young woman. She had been stabbed repeatedly. Her body was staged, and symbols had been deliberately placed around her, as if someone wanted investigators to believe this was something it wasn't. Within hours, police stood face to face with her husband. They told him his wife was dead. He nodded. He cried on command, and he never once asked how she died, because he already knew. Emily Hale was 23 years old. Friends described her as gentle, warm, and deeply empathetic. She loved animals, volunteered at shelters, and believed people deserved second chances, even when they didn't earn them. She met her future husband, Marcus Hale, when she was just 19. Marcus was older, more confident, an Army recruiter with discipline, structure, and a commanding presence. To Emily, he felt safe. To her family, he felt intense. But at first, nothing seemed wrong. The marriage changed Emily. Friends noticed it first. She stopped posting as much online. She stopped showing up alone. She checked her phone constantly. Marcus had rules: where she could go, who she could talk to, what time she needed to be home. Arguments escalated quickly, and when Emily finally filed for a temporary restraining order, it was clear something darker lived beneath Marcus's calm exterior. But then, just as suddenly, Emily went back. She believed he could change. That decision would cost her everything. October 18th began like any other day. Emily worked a short shift at a pet supply store in downtown Ashford. At 2:41 p.m., security cameras captured her walking out, smiling, phone in hand. She called her mother. She mentioned dinner plans. She sounded normal. At 3:02 p.m., her phone sent its last signal. Then nothing. By 6 p.m., Emily never arrived for dinner. Her phone rang unanswered. Her mother felt that instinctive fear no parent can explain. At 8:36 p.m., Emily was reported missing. Police searched her route home. No car accident. No witnesses. No signs of struggle. And then there was the timeline. A 5-hour gap no one could explain. That gap was where the truth lived. Just after midnight, a man dialed 911. His voice trembled. He claimed he was inside an abandoned house, searching for Emily. Then he said the words that chilled dispatchers. "I found her." The caller was Ethan Rowe, a former friend, a former roommate, someone police would soon suspect. Officers followed Ethan into the basement. The smell hit first, then the sight. Emily's body was sealed behind concrete slabs, crudely built but deliberate. Her phone had been submerged in water. Graffiti symbols were scrawled across the walls. To investigators, the message was clear. This wasn't random. This was staged. And whoever did it wanted someone else blamed. Ethan's history with Emily made him an easy target. He had dated her once. He had lived with her and Marcus. He had jealousy written all over his past. Detectives believed they had their suspect. But Ethan told them something unexpected. Marcus had a temper. Marcus was controlling. Marcus terrified Emily. Suddenly, the story cracked open. When police informed Marcus of Emily's death, his reaction was off, controlled, measured. He thanked them. He never asked how she died. He spoke as if he had already accepted the outcome. And behind that calm demeanor was a man who had rehearsed this moment over and over. Marcus had planned everything. The location, the symbols, the timing. He knew investigators would focus on Ethan. He knew his military background would make him seem reliable. And he knew grief could be performed. For weeks, it worked. At Emily's funeral, detectives wired the room. They hoped grief would make Marcus slip. Instead, they watched something far stranger. Marcus leaned over Emily's casket, took photos, whispered things no grieving husband should say. Standing beside him was a teenage girl. Her name was Lily Carter. and she would become the key to everything. Lily was 17, vulnerable, isolated, easy to manipulate. Marcus had been grooming her, teaching her loyalty, teaching her silence, and unknowingly teaching her how to destroy him. A discarded cup at the funeral provided DNA. It matched skin found under Emily's fingernails. Phone records placed Marcus near the abandoned house. Search history revealed knife-sharpening techniques. Suddenly, the perfect crime unraveled. When Marcus realized investigators were closing in, he vanished. So did Lily. An Amber Alert followed. The case became national news. The grieving husband was now America's most wanted man. Weeks later, Lily came forward. She was scared. She was broken. And she was ready to talk. She described everything. The planning, the manipulation, the murder. Marcus had used her as a shield. But shields crack. Marcus showed no remorse. In court, evidence stacked higher every day. Text messages, search histories, witnesses. The jury didn't hesitate. Marcus Hale was found guilty. Marcus Hale wasn't a monster in the dark. He was a monster who smiled, who rehearsed grief, who weaponized trust. Emily Hale deserved better, and her story remains a warning. Sometimes the most dangerous people are the ones who look the calmest when everything falls apart.